Thank you. So my name is Karol Chlasta, and at the moment I'm still a PhD student at Polish-Japanese Academy of Information Technology in Warsaw, but I also work part-time at this university called Koźmiński University, also in Warsaw, where I'm working with social scientists on a kind of interesting project related to social capital as well as developing new tools that would help social sciences. And one of these tools is my migration bot, so a cloud-based Facebook social chatbot for migrant population. The idea for this project was created around February this year. Initially, we were discussing with a kind of sister lab from Stanford University called Immigration Policy Lab about how basically migrants could be investigated. And in social sciences, of course, they are mostly investigated through surveys. So that lab at Stanford created a tool called low-cost automated WhatsApp surveys that was using Twilio, and it was simply facilitating the research that they were doing on some migrant population in the United States. In the United States, there are many different migrant populations, but according to them, the prominent one was, I think, from Costa Rica, and that's why they were investigating this population through the means of WhatsApp, because this was very popular among these migrants. So they were using this for communication. As I said, around February, there was also a big event that happened. So Russia attacked Ukraine, and we also received a number of the refugees into Poland. And we thought that we should actually maybe think a little bit wider in terms of just purely creating maybe yet another social tool for investigating these migrants, but also use this tool, this chatbot, as a kind of recommender system, a system that would be helping them to get them like integrated into the society. At the moment, I think the situation is that chatbots are quite popular as interaction systems that are basically increasing the availability of information, and they are used both in commercial and public services, and they could be used to basically facilitate or help with the quality of life. And they can be used also to provide personalized feedback to respondents to increase their, I don't know, motivation. There was also some research done that they would potentially also include increase the motivation in participation in social surveys. The social surveys are usually something that people don't want to do, right? They receive large A4 papers. They have to, write, input a lot of information. This is a manual process. So people, in principle, in social sciences, people hate surveys, right? So chatbot was identified as a kind of tool that would make this a little bit more fun and would increase that satisfaction from research. So the goal was to create a multilingual chatbot, obviously, because these migrant populations would be predominantly either Ukrainian or Russian speaking, or English speaking, or Polish. So we selected three languages: Polish, Ukrainian, and English. And the idea for this chatbot would be to apply some questionnaires and surveys that would help, that would give feedback to these migrant populations, and then allow them to better integrate into the receiving society. This is the architecture. We obviously leveraged quite a few cloud services. The first one that I've already mentioned was Twilio. Twilio is a popular platform in the United States. We use basically two services from that platform: Autopilot, which is a kind of experimental chatbot that they have, and also Twilio Functions. So that's how we were programming the chatbot. Twilio as a service allows us to easily access Facebook Messenger API. So basically, it can be sending, I know, text messages, or it can be sending Facebook Messenger messages through different channels. But we are also using a traditional Facebook application, because, as I said, the original idea for this application was to research these migrant populations. So we wanted to gather the information from their profiles, from their network of interactions on Facebook, to be able to analyze that and provide new insights into how they behave and who they are basically. So we are, as I said, use these two approaches to gather data, and we use basically AWS for hosting the backend of the solution. So I will not go into the details, but basically we are trying to use AWS. It was hosted in Ireland, and our local zone was Poland. So we use basically standard AWS infrastructure to be able to make this tool operate. And after like 2-3 months of work, we have been able to complete and test this tool on the migrant populations. We tested the tool on 53 people. Oh, maybe I have to mention one more thing, because this chatbot is actually attached to a Facebook page. So it can be attached to any page, but basically it was using the university Facebook page as a kind of entry point, the Facebook page of that crash center. And this was supposed to be the like gateway, the place, so that how people would be able to interact with the chatbot. There was also an option of sending a link to the chatbot to the people who would be interested, so like to target them through some kind of recommendation that Facebook allows for their advertising. So that was basically a kind of high-level idea. In terms of our evaluation, we took these 53 people. They were mostly interacting with this chatbot on their computers or on the mobile phones. As you can see, it's almost like 50-50 split. And we were using a tool called System Usability Scale. It's a simple human-computer interaction tool that was basically allowing us to evaluate how people perceive this chatbot. As you can see, in terms of that population, these were mostly people. Of course, all of them were Facebook users, but only 40% declared very good ICT skills, and almost half of them were migrants. So we evaluated this chatbot, and the results were positive. So we think at the moment that it's possible to enhance the deployment of that and advertise this tool a little bit more. And as such, at the moment, the tool is using so what kind of recommendation we are giving at the moment? So the first one is called 10-item personality inventory. So basically, there is, again, in social scientists, what I have learned, there is like a strong correlation between like a kind of, people think that there is a kind of success in life or success to immigrate and the personality. So scientists link that to the personality that people have. So obviously, the assumption was that if we give people the feedback information about what kind of personality they have, that would allow them, that would guide them through certain processes and allow them to be more successful in the receiving society. And another scale that the team thought, as a team, we thought that is a good tool, was job competency fit scale. So that basically we can try to recommend the right jobs. These are basically the standard, I would say, social tools that are used also by, for example, at, agencies or through government agents who are trying to help people to find the right job. But of course, in our case, the means was Facebook Messenger, and this is exactly how the tool looked like when we are filling in multiple languages. The language was taken from the client, and basically, the main finding is that the chatbot was created. It was initially evaluated through this pilot study that I'm presenting, and basically both computer and phone respondents were above average. So the usability was found to be like above average according to this social tool. It was slightly better on the phone, and people with no experience of migration assess this tool slightly better. And again, we attribute that to the fact that mostly these people who are migrants are actually very well skilled in terms of ICT services. They usually, keep in touch with their network of friends on daily basis using Messenger, and that happens for years using Skype, all these modern ICT tools. And yes, to conclude, this was the first such deployment of Facebook social chatbot using Twilio in Central Europe. This is like the second such chatbot in general that was targeted for migrant populations. I think the first one was a kind of was a chatbot that was published at ACMD's, I think, in 2020, but that was in relation to taking migrants, incorporating them into the design process of such a chatbot. So I don't think that this was anywhere like used in terms of helping the populations. It was more like a research project. The second thing is that the application was positively assessed in this pilot study, and we haven't found any statistical difference in terms of like between these groups of migrants and non-migrants. So it seems to be a kind of generally good tool that could be fitting that role. And of course, as next steps, we would like to add other questionnaires and potentially roll this out also to some other tools, because at the moment, as I've mentioned, this is linked to a Facebook page, but there is also a portal that is being created that measures psychological capital and I think also social capital. So there was an idea also to attach this chatbot there, and also, you know, to advertise that through other means. So thank you very much. I think that's what I wanted to present, and I look forward to hearing any questions.
Okay, so maybe I will be the first who will give you some comments. Okay, so actually I'm looking at your work from the viewpoint of recommender systems, and what you have already done is like the first step to build the recommender system, yeah, because you have user profiles. And then my question is whether you thought about contacting with some local government agency to get job offers and to fit this into the system, yeah. And then if we have job offers, and then we have the second part that we can use to build the recommender system, yeah. So have you think?
There is a partner of this project, because as I said, this is just one tool of that larger organization that works at Koźmiński University, and I think the partner of that research center that was mentioned at the beginning. So Crash. Okay, let me go. When we switch to the beginning, there is this Center for Research on Social Change and Human Mobility. So this research center is partnering with Ukrainian House in Warsaw, and there was an idea that on, I think, Tuesdays every week there would be a person coming and trying to advise the jobs to the real people who are served by this Ukrainian house. So that was the first idea, to use this. So the jobs would be taken by, the jobs were supposed to be taken from Pracuj.pl. I think, again, there was some discussion. I don't know exactly if that was materialized, but there was some discussion with Pracuj.pl and some portals. And there was supposed to be also a person hired in cooperation with the university and the Ukrainian house to be helping migrants. So that was basically the, hopefully, something that would bring us to the second step. But in terms of recommender system, what is maybe not very visible here is that we are using this Facebook app, and this Facebook app allows us to like harvest some more information about these profiles. So we don't only have that standard information, but we could potentially take almost any information that users would allow us. So I think there are a lot of options also to create better, to understand better these people, because we could generate some more complex metrics about these profiles, and, you know, see their social interaction on Facebook using Graph API. So if that would be rolled out further, I guess my point is that we could have much better profiles, or much better information about each person than just through, you know, a few of these attributes that we currently have.
Okay, thank you.